Wait a second, this isn't a face reveal. I wouldn't just lie down on a table inanimate and just, I don't know. Well, hello, and this is an unusual video, IRL things, and we're taking my Eyjafjalla Nendoroid and stuffing it in a display case because I am sort of sick and tired of having to dust the millions of Nendoroids I own. So hopefully this will be fun. So this is the display case, which was a lot harder to find than I expected. Now search through Amazon, search through all the places, and yeah, I can only find one that just barely fit Aya in there. So the plan is we're gonna make a little diorama, a little background, some decorations just to liven up the box a bit, and then put our figure inside and seal it and not put any questionable substances in there, wink wink. The first thing we do need to do is remove this centerpiece thing, because this display case was originally a softball display case. But it just happened to be the right thing for what I needed, so, just remove the thing, rip it off, and litter it on the floor somewhere, and probably get kicked out of the studio, because I'm doing all this at my university. Don't worry, this is my own private station, so, I have to clean it up in the end anyways. And we just, lay on a nice paper base, because I'm broke and everything's gonna be probably made of paper. But at least it's not the elementary school construction paper, it's actually cardstock, which is much harder and, well, not that much harder, but still pretty decent to work with. So that goes on, and I should probably try to explain what I'm going for in terms of the diorama itself. Lots of volcano-y things. Why not make a volcano background? The ones you kind of see in Iceland. I'll probably put up a couple reference images on the screen. But I wanted some sort of mini lava river to kind of go past this kind of black ashy ground, which you can see me just gluing it on. Which I thought it was a decent idea. I've had worse ideas. Do a bit of a flattening job, and there we go, we have some sort of a base. But you can kind of see the river there just kind of forming. It was the layer of red beneath and black on top. So, it's not rocket science. Next up is the background, and I'm not going to make the background go all the way to the roof of the case. So what I'm going to do is this volcanic landscape. We're sticking on theme. We got the volcano with the lava pouring to make a river, and all the foreground elements that come after it, and continuing that river all the way to the river you saw on the base earlier. And I will say, gluing this all together was such a pain, because I had to be so precise. I mean, it's not even perfect what you're seeing on screen, but I was just like, good enough. So you might notice I've included these little flaps on each layer, and what that's for is so I can attach them to these sort of side layer, which will hold the entire background together. And as we speed through this footage, you can kind of start to see what I mean by everything, and the finished product, where it doesn't take up much space in terms of how much base it takes up. But I thought, hopefully you can see the 3D-ness of it, otherwise I've just wasted maybe 30 minutes for nothing. And all that's left to do is create a bottom so I can actually properly glue it to the base and, put it on the base. And we have a semblance of a background. The next part in all this is figuring out where to actually put Eyjafjalla in the diorama. And so I'll just have her really put her in the only place she can really be. That exact spot, because she's got a bit of hair in the way and I can't move it any closer so it's more compact. But with that taken care of, I set up the proper staircase looking landscape, covered it in the usual black paper, and sticking it on the base as well. And now Aya has somewhere to sit. And you can see I can just barely fit her in the box. It's a really tight squeeze. Now onto the details, because as it stands, it sort of looks a bit plain. So what I've decided is to add some foliage. Greenery, a little bit of greenery. I sort of went overboard. I sort of just salt bayed the moss everywhere, but it does look pretty nice. And afterwards I needed some actual plants that wasn't just grass, and added those too by cutting up a little flower thing, which the buds are more or less what I need for this thing. And it's at this moment when I realized my phone had actually run out of storage space, so I had to clear a tiny bit of space and take pictures for the rest of the process because I was aiming to finish it on that day. So enjoy the slideshow. But luckily there isn't really much left to explain. I added some mist using cotton balls, stretched it out and just kind of dabbled it all over the place, and it looks kind of nice. It makes it a lot more scenic. And definitely gives the background a lot more life, that kind of depth we were trying to create. With all the details we're putting in, the river is looking a little bit barren, so I decided for some reason to add a piece of Originium and a piece of Orundum, which, by the way, when I was making the Originium, I created this really creepy smiley face on accident. So now you're looking at it. And all that's left is to fill the back with something, because I felt bad. I mean, you're not necessarily going to be looking at the back, but I just put in the AS class, subclass, skills, just for a bit of fun. And that's really it. It looks cool, honestly, and I did not expect for it to be this half-decent. But, yeah, hope you enjoyed, and have a good rest of your day, everyone.